Hello everyone, this is Mayuri. I recently came back from my winter trip and I was surrounded by so much scenic beauty that it inspired me to paint. I was especially drawn to this little house with a red roof, so in this video I'll show you how I paint a simple landscape with mountains, trees and a cute house. I'll start with a loose pencil sketch the main elements slightly, mountains, house and trees. I'll keep the lines minimal so they don't show through the paint. I'll begin by preparing the paper by gently applying clean water across the surface. Once the paper is evenly wet, I'll start with a very diluted blue wash for the sky using a wet on wet technique. I'm keeping the strokes light and loose here, allowing the pigment to move on its own. I'll intentionally leave a few white spaces so the paper itself becomes soft subtle clouds. To add a little depth, I'll introduce some gentle grey tones into the sky. While the paper is still slightly damp, I'll move on to the distant mountains. Using a grey-blue mix, I'll paint the base layer with a very soft edges, keeping the mountains light and faded so they sit quietly in the background. Once the background is set, I'll start blocking in the house. Using a very light wash, I will define the basic structure of the house without adding too much detail at this stage. I'm keeping the colors muted and soft so the house blends naturally into the landscape. I'll gently define the balcony with railing and edges, keeping the lines light and minimal. I'm not aiming for sharp precision here, just enough detail to suggest the form. Now I'll move on to the roof. Using a warm red tone, I'll carefully add color to the roof, keeping the brush strokes controlled and soft. I'll start by adding a little depth along the edges of the roof, using a darker red mixed with a muted brown. I'm focusing mainly on the corners and overlaps, where shadows fall naturally. The strokes are slow and controlled, just enough to define the form without making it look too sharp. Now I'll deepen the shadow by layering red and brown tones. I'm working